Rise English Podcast.
where learning English meets real life.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Wherever you're listening from right now, whether you're driving, working, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, we're really glad you're here. Today's episode is one of those conversations that doesn't sound dramatic, but if you really listen to it, it can slowly change the way you think about your life.
What's up, everyone? I really like how you said that because this topic isn't loud or flashy. It's actually very simple, but most people never practice it. Today we're talking about focusing on yourself, and honestly, this is something almost everyone struggles with at some point, including us.
Yeah, and I want to say this right away so there's no confusion. When we say focus on yourself, we're not talking about cutting people off or becoming cold. We're talking about learning how to stop wasting mental and emotional energy on things that are outside your control, and instead putting that energy back into your own growth.
Exactly. I think a lot of people feel tired all the time, not because they're doing too much, but because their attention is everywhere. They're worried about what people think, they're comparing their lives to others, and they're constantly reacting instead of intentionally choosing how to live.
Comparison is such a big part of this. You open social media for a few minutes, and without realizing it, your mood changes. Suddenly, you feel behind or not good enough, or like you should be doing more. But what we forget is that we're looking at a very small, edited version of someone else's life.
And the problem is, when you compare yourself like that, you lose focus on your own path. You stop asking, what do I need right now? And you start asking, why am I not where they are? That question doesn't help you grow. It just creates frustration and self-doubt.
That's why focusing on yourself is so powerful. When you really do it, you stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline. You start paying attention to your own habits, your own mindset, and your own consistency. And that's where real change actually happens.
One thing I've learned is that your life moves in the direction of your attention. If you spend your time thinking about drama, negativity, or things you can't control, your life starts to feel heavy. But when you focus on learning, improving, and taking responsibility, even small actions start to feel meaningful.
And this is where discipline comes in. Motivation feels great, but it's unreliable. Some days you wake up feeling inspired, and some days you don't. Focusing on yourself means doing the work even on the days when you feel bored, tired, or unmotivated.
Yeah, and those boring days are actually the most important ones. Anyone can show up when they feel excited, but showing up when nobody's watching, when there's no praise or recognition, that's where confidence is built.
Another thing that really distracts people is the need for validation. So many decisions are based on how others will react. Will they approve? Will they understand? Will they support me? But the truth is, not everyone is going to understand your journey, and that's okay.
The moment you stop needing constant approval, something changes inside you. You feel lighter, you think more clearly. Your decisions come from self-respect instead of fear, and that's a really powerful place to live from.
I also want to talk about silence because growth is usually very quiet. You don't always see it happening. Sometimes it feels like nothing is changing, but internally, your mindset is shifting, your habits are improving, and your confidence is slowly building.
That's such a good point. Real progress doesn't need an audience. You don't have to announce every goal or explain every decision. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just stay consistent and let the results speak later.
When you truly focus on yourself, your mind becomes calmer. You stop reacting to every comment, every opinion, and every situation. You start choosing where your energy goes, and that creates a lot of mental peace.
And that peace is important because life is already challenging enough. If you're constantly fighting external noise, you'll never have the clarity to build the life you actually want.
Daily habits play a huge role here. Simple things like protecting your time, working on one skill at a time, taking care of your body, and being mindful of what content you consume can completely change how focused you feel.
There will still be hard days, though. Days when you doubt yourself, days when progress feels slow, and days when you feel lost. But those days don't mean you're failing. They're just part of the process.
I really want listeners to understand this part. You're not late in life. You're not behind. You're just on your own timeline, and comparing it to someone else's only distracts you from what you're meant to build.
Focusing on yourself is really a form of self-respect. It's choosing growth over noise, peace over pressure, and long-term progress over short-term validation.
So, if you take anything from today's conversation, let it be this. Bring your attention back to what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and your consistency.
You don't have to do everything at once. Just take one small step, show up again tomorrow, and trust that it adds up over time.
And remember, your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's.
Just stay focused.
Focus on yourself.